as well. In the meantime, we'll also share some reflections. Just trying to bring up a verse or a few verses to read. They're not showing as an option to share. So I'll just read. From Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, chapter 6. Nityananda, so this is 138. Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his lotus feet on Raghunath Das's head, and began to speak. So for context, this is the conclusion of the Panihati event. We'll speak more about it. But at the very end of it, this is a culmination. Nityananda Prabhu calls Raghunath Das and he says, "My dear Raghunath Das, since you arranged the feast on the banks of the Ganges, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. By his causeless mercy, he ate the chip rice and milk. Then after seeing the dancing of the devotees at night, he took his supper. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaura Hari, came here personally to deliver you. Now, rest assured that all the impediments meant for your bondage are gone. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary, Swarup Damodara. You will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being assured of all of this, return to your own home very soon. Without impediments, you will attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." So Nityananda Prabhu giving his mercy, his grace to Raghunath Das. After Raghunath Das has performed this service of feeding the devotees with chipped rice and yogurt, chipped rice and condensed milk. When I was about 10, I visited, well, I was in Calcutta and staying at the 3C Albert Road temple that Prabhupada stayed at, established. And not too far from there, there was another place called Rainy Park. I guess that was the name of the area. And so for many years, I guess it was rented. Bhakti Churu Maharaj lived there. Did you visit Rainy Park? Bhakti Churu Maharaj lived there before he was traveling as a sannyasi. He was a sannyasi resident at Rainy Park, and that was a BBT. And so Bengali BBT, and he stayed there and translated all of Prabhupada's books from English to Bengali. And so I visited with one of his godbrothers who was looking after me. I tagged along behind, and he was our school principal. And Bhakti Maharaj prepared breakfast for us. And it was chip rice and yogurt. And there was mango and banana and lychee and other delicious fruits. And he prepared it and then served it to us. And it was one of the most delicious meals but I never had. Even to this day, I always remember that special breakfast. It was a simple breakfast. Chip rice is simple. The fruits are simple, the yogurt's simple. Putting them together and serving them with love is special. And that whole experience, I don't remember what they spoke about. Maybe I was too young to understand even. But they had an extended discussion. But I remember the prasadam. I remember that loving exchange. And so what we have here in this Chiradahi Mahotsava is a very simple but very loving exchange in life and in even spiritual life. We might feel pressured to do something grand, to do something apparently great, to impress other devotees, to impress our guru, to impress God, to impress Krishna. That way we might get some mercy or at least some prestige and distinction, recognition. Whether it's doing something great or renouncing, great renunciation, that's the other side of these things. Or to be recognized as great for our prayer and our dedication, to be noticed in some way or another. Here, Raghunath, he's receiving reciprocation for something, well, it was great, but at its essence, it's loving. It's a loving service that he's performed for the devotees. And the devotees are happy, and Nityananda Prabhu is pleased. Raghunath Das has served the Vaishnavas. Raghunath Das has, in this service, pleased Nityananda Prabhu. And this brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be present as well. Raghunath Das, he had been trying to gain Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association. His family was very wealthy, and there was a Brahmana, priest, Kula Guru, family guru, who was also a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yadunandanacharya. It so happens that he was also a good friend of Haridas Thakur's. That's another story. But from a young age, Raghunath Das had heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Initially, he heard about Nimai of Nadia, Nimai's Sankirtan in Navadvip. Yadunandan would tell him. Then he heard about Nimai's taking sannyas and leaving Navadvip. So he went to Shantipur and he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. And he told Mahaprabhu, I want to join you. I want to leave my family. I want to leave these distractions to spiritual life, and I just want to serve you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, you wait for Krishna's mercy. Go home, do your duty. Externally, you act as a materialist. Internally, you cultivate your spiritual attachment for Krishna. And in time, Krishna will bless you and fulfill your desires. So he did that. He returned home. He, for a period, acted as a, Prabhupada says, pounds, shillings man, dollars and cents man for our American friends, but was not able to maintain it for very long as the desire to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again became very prominent. in his heart. He met Mahaprabhu again and received the same instruction. And then he heard that Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu's associate, was visiting in nearby Panihati. So he went there and offered his obeisances at a distance. And Nityananda Prabhu is very playful. He said, oh, someone pointed out to him actually, there is Raghunath Das. And as I said, his family was very famous. I said, there's Raghunath Das offering his obeisances at a distance. And Nityananda Prabhu was very playful. He said, thief, trying to steal my mercy without coming close. Staying away, not coming close to meet me, just wants to take my mercy from afar. Come here. So he came close and Nityananda Prabhu said, now we must punish you for your theft. You are to feed all the devotees with a feast of chipped rice, means flat rice and yogurt. And I have pondered at this for so long. Why chipped rice? Chipped rice is not special. It's not opulent, let's say that. It's not an opulent food. Raghunath Das is incredibly wealthy. He could have arranged a more opulent feast. But there is something here in this simplicity. Chip rice it can be a very intimate food. If you have friends around and a meal isn't planned, or maybe you're with family, there is no meal planned as such, but somebody gets hungry. Hey, how about we get some chip rice? That's an easy thing to do. Take it out, mix some yogurt, mix some fruits, and it's delicious. It is a staple as a breakfast as well, but it is something that can be done very easily and simply, quickly, and it can be an intimate affair. So a feast, many preparations is more formal. It would have taken longer to prepare. Raghunath Das would have had to have arranged those cooks and all of those ingredients. Of course, his wealth would have made it relatively easy, but chip rice and yogurt can be done instantaneously. Send people to the market, they brought a lot, sackloads of chip rice, bring in yogurt, bring in fruits, and just start mixing. Soak the rice and start mixing immediately, and you have an immediate meal, like cereal almost. Yeah, and in India, in Bengal, chip rice is a type of cereal, so to speak. Flat rice Krispies, flat rice, they do it sweet, salty. It's very easy to prepare, and fried as well. Yeah, okay, that's the Krispies. I went to school in Mayapur, so I'm 5 years. So I'm somewhat familiar, and they were very formative years as well. That's how I happened to be in Kolkata to meet Bhakti Maharaj. Familiar with the culture. And puffed rice or chipped rice, those are easy access even through the day when you're feeling peckish. There we are. Feeling a bit peckish, you can easily put together some chipped rice or some muri and sit around together in a circle, even with your friends, informally, and just enjoy that snack. And so there is an intimacy. There is a simplicity and an intimacy here that's very beautiful. And as this pastime unfolds, more devotees hear, hey, there's chip rice and yogurt over at Panihati. So people start arriving to join in the fun. And it's a very joyful, fun pastime, fun interaction. Raghunath Das sends people to the next village to bring more chipped rice, more yogurt. Basically, he buys it up from the entire area. And then the sellers, they start arriving from other villages with their fares, and he buys that as well as more devotees arrive. And then the sellers who are selling him things, they end up sitting down and eating as well. They sell it to him, and then they receive the prasadam. It's one pot with yogurt, another pot with, they're using condensed milk. So that's special as well. And then they fill up the space to an extent that there's nowhere for people to sit anymore. So people are sitting or standing in the Ganges, because this is happening on the bank of the Ganga. They're sitting in the Ganga with their pots and they're eating. So it's very playful. It's very joyful, very playful. There's lots of laughter, lots of happiness, lots of kinship. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is drawn to this gathering. The love that he sees there, the love that is there exchanged among the devotees. Nityananda Prabhu, he wants Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience it, so he brings Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there in his, through his call of love. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's walking up and down the aisles where devotees are taking prasadam, and he's joyfully watching them take prasadam. And Nityananda Prabhu, it's described, he's with him and he's taking prasadam and pushing it into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mouth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking prasadam, pushing it into Nityananda Prabhu's mouth. Not everyone can see this. They see Nityananda, some see Sri Chaitanya, most don't. So a very joyful, a very festive, loving exchange. And there's a verse that's coming to mind. I won't repeat it verbatim, but to paraphrase, Krishna says, I'm not in Vaikuntha. I'm not in the hearts of meditating yogis. I'm where my devotees come together and chant my glory. And so in that loving environment, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes his appearance. And so Chaitanya is pleased. Nityananda Prabhu is pleased. And the instructions or the blessings that we read from Nityananda Prabhu at the beginning of this discussion, they are a consequence of Raghunath Dasa's pleasing the devotees. Very soon, you will receive Mahaprabhu's blessing. There is no longer any obstacle. Whatever was there, whatever was hanging over Raghunath and impeding his ability to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was cleared away. Nityananda Prabhu is giving that blessing. Nityananda Prabhu, of course, is the Adi Guru. To approach Krishna, we need the grace of Guru. To approach Krishna, we need the grace of the blessings of the Vaishnavas. Raghunath Das has been trying, with all of his opulence and wealth and capability, he has been trying to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this instance, the wealth itself has been the obstacle. His family, they want to keep him at home. They want him to inherit the family wealth and to become the next ruler. They were basically like princes. They ruled a jurisdiction, a part of Bengal, collecting taxes, paying a portion of it to the Nawab, but basically they administered a certain region And so, because his family wanted him to be the heir, then they were obstructing his meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They gave him many servants, but actually those servants were guards, watchmen, 2 Brahmins to cook for him, 4 Brahmins as guards for his personal security. There were 11 people that were around him at all times. And so he was unable to leave the that situation. But shortly after this event, there's an occurrence. His Kula Guru, the family guru Yadunandana Acharya, is performing some puja late at night. There's a disciple that's supposed to come and help with the puja. He doesn't show up. Raghunath, or he's left. So Yadunandan's doing it himself, something like that. And Raghunath Das is walking with him back to his home after doing the puja. And as he leaves him at the house, Raghunath Das thinks, well, I'm alone. This is my moment to escape. So that moment has come to him not by chance. It appears to be, that by chance he finds himself in that situation and he seizes the moment. But it's happened after this event. It happens after the Chiradahi Mahotsav, when he served so many Vaishnavas, pleased so many Vaishnavas, when he received the blessings of Nityananda, Adi Guru, that now all the obstacles to your meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are cleared away, or to not just meeting, joining Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are cleared away. Very soon, you will be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. He will place you under the charge, we read it, of Sarup Damodar Goswami, his personal secretary. You will be one of his most confidential associates. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu blesses him thus. And so you and I, we need this blessing. We need this grace. We want to receive, we want to achieve that objective that Prabhupada points to, back home, back to Godhead. So we have that as our aspiration. Achieving that aspiration requires the grace of Guru, requires the blessings or the pleasing of the Vaishnavas. Very famous passage where Krishna says, one who says he's my devotee is not my devotee. One who says they're the devotee of my devotee, that person is actually my devotee. And so in this pastime, we have that demonstrated in a very profound way. That the way to please Krishna, the way to receive Krishna's grace, his personal association, is through pleasing the Vaishnavas, through pleasing Guru and Vaishnavas. So, what does this mean for us then? It means that we look to each other and we see, how can I be of service? Don't think the Vaishnava is someone far away that we only read about in books. Someone so exalted that none of our peers, none of our God brothers and God sisters could ever measure up to what it really means to be a Vaishnava. Don't fall into that trap. There are many definitions of what a Vaishnava is, some very tight and exclusionary. Let us say aspirational for us. There are other definitions that are very broad. So rather than just limiting ourselves to those very narrow, restrictive definitions, unattainable for most, and say, no, that's a real Vaishnava. That's whose association and service and blessings I'm seeking. Why not take the broad definition and take the opportunity to serve and please your God brothers and God sisters, those who are around you, those whom we might take for granted. We see the deity, we see Prabhupada, his books. In Bhakti Center, we are fortunate, some of Prabhupada's personal disciples as well. And then everyone else, oh, that's just so-and-so. Yeah, I know them. I knew them since before we don't need to do that. Biography, focusing on some limitation or attachment. Go abroad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, anyone who says Krishna's name once is a Vaishnava. That's the broadest definition I've ever heard or read. Of course, there's a spectrum there. Rupa Goswami, he gives some more intermediate definition. He says anyone who's practicing, anyone who's chanting, anyone who has taken Diksha is a Madhyamadikari Vaishnava. Why not at least settle there and offer your love and your respect and your service and your dedication there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives 5 practices of bhakti. The first of these 5, he says, any one of them had awakened pure love. The first of them, sadhu sangha. Service to sadhus, service to devotees. So, yeah, we are in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Sadhus are all around us by Prabhupada's mercy. Raghunath Das Goswami is feeding thousands, and hundreds and thousands of devotees. He's not doing a pure devotee check to determine whose service, who is worthy of his offering service, who is worthy of receiving his obeisances. The invitation is open, and he's taken advantage, taking opportunity to serve Vaishnavas, and that is pleasing to Nityananda Prabhu. It is pleasing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't want to diverge from the topic, but another example is Jaru Thakur, who made a vow to take the prasadam of every Vaishnava in Bengal. And that was pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's actually related to Raghunath Das. That's interesting. So when Jaru Thakur went to Jagannath Puri, so let's just say Jaru Thakur made a vow to take the Mahaprasad of every devotee in Bengal, broad definition devotee. Then he went to visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would enter the Jagannath temple every day, Govinda would pour water to wash his feet. And there were strict orders. No one's to touch that water. No one's to take that water. It would just fall from Mahaprabhu's feet into the drain. But one day, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the water was being poured on his feet, there were a pair of hands beneath, and there was Jaru Thakur with cupped hands, and he drank, and then he put his hands out again. And the water kept pouring. He drank again, and again put his hands out. And the water kept pouring. Govinda kept pouring. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't stop him. 3 times he drank that water. He put out his hands again, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that's enough. So it's very clear. He knew that somebody was there doing something that was forbidden. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu allowed it. He had proven himself. He had proven himself as someone who had faith in prasadam and had faith in the devotees and receive the blessings of the devotees. Later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking his lunch. Again, something very private. Govinda would serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his lunch, Jagannath Prasad. Maybe some devotees have prepared something and sent it. Mahaprabhu saw in the distance Jadu Thakur milling around. And so he told Govinda, call him here. Again, something that wasn't done. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had some of his Mahaprasad given to Jadu Thakur because he had faith in Prasad, he has faith in devotees. So very powerful instructions. We can take it to heart. We can take it to heart to serve Vaishnavas. And a nice way to serve Vaishnavas, Raghunath Rupa Goswami tells us, is to serve prasadam as well. Bhukte bhojayate, to give prasadam, to receive prasadam. This is pleasing to Nityananda Prabhu. It is pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is a way, let us say, an easy way, a joyful way, an enjoyable way that we can attract the blessings of Nityananda and Chaitanya. It is a way that we can remove obstacles to our ability to enter into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna's intimate, loving association. So we will conclude there. Any reflections, comments? Yes, please. Okay. You're going on camera.
The Bhakti Center, so I guess that makes sense. Hare Krishna. Prahlad Prabhu, thank you so much for your personal story about how you experienced Chira Dahi for the first time. And I wanted to ask.
You can speak to the whole.
No, I'll hold it. You could you clarify, because I'm a little confused about how a person might end up not pleasing Lord Nityananda by being slightly maybe whimsical and independent-minded in deciding how they want to serve the Vaishnavas. So could you speak to that?
Oh, yeah, thank you for that question. A very thoughtful question. Is it a problem that we become whimsical and, I guess, speculate on how we want to please Vaishnavas, how we want to serve the Vaishnavas? What's coming to my mind, and I'm not sure what intention you have with that question, but what's coming to my mind is that sometimes we may want to impose our will on another, and we think we're doing what's best for them and we know better. We know better than them what's in their best interest. So yeah, that can, unless we are somebody's guru or parent, we should be careful of such an attitude. Guru, parent, we might say counselor, somebody with a responsibility for another, we should be careful of such an attitude. So the best way we can approach, unless we are somebody's senior in that way, then we will say, but how can I serve you? It's a simple question. It's a beautiful question. It's a question that devotees do often ask, even a senior to their dependent disciple, or how can I serve you? So that would be that's what's coming to my mind as a way to avoid that attitude, really to be with the person try to understand them and their need, their situation. That requires our being present to somebody. And yeah, otherwise it's pride, where we serve somebody by wanting to control them. So another way that Purusha Abhiman enters into our lives when we, in the name of service, we're just, again, wanting to control or dominate. So Adipurush Prabhu has a comment, and then Min has a raised hand here as well. Thank you for that.
Hey, Hare Krishna. Wonderful class. Bye. We love hearing your explanations and discourse. Krishna's mercy. The question about how to serve, where there's a story of when Prajapati Daksha produced 10,000 sons, and then he told them to go perform austerities. So he wanted them to engage in helping to populate the universe and produce children. But then Narada Muni came, and he said, he spoke to them about renunciation and devotional service. So they gave up their aspiration. Prajapati Daksha was very unhappy. Brahma consoled him, and he produced another 1,000 sons. And again, Narada Muni came and preached to them, and they also became renounced. And Prabhupada says in the purport, I was just reading this yesterday, that even though some people may not like what we're sharing with devotees, we do it anyway, right? And then so that 10,000 sons, they thought, well, Narada Muni is our guru, we should serve him. Let's get him a glass of water. So they brought 10,000 glasses of water. And he said, ridiculous. Serving me, my personal needs are not that extensive, but I want you to preach. And Prabhupada said, if you want to thank me, give what I gave to you to someone else. I'm not trying to corral a bunch of servants for my own personal bodily maintenance, although it's appropriate for us to assist them, and not just to assist them for their sense gratification, but to assist them in devotional service to Krishna. So when you see a devotee and that person is serving Krishna, help that person in their service to Krishna. They'll be pleased, Krishna will be pleased. And it's a very good question, because we might just wind up with a bunch of water glasses extensively. Hare Krishna, Gaura Prabhupada.
So that's in Prabhupada's purport about the 10,000 glasses?
I heard it in class,
Okay, yeah, it's not in the text,
but the principle
was
very
sure.
clear.
Yeah.
That just elaborately.
We couldn't hear that, Sri Prahlad Prabhu. So where is that story about 10 glasses of water?
It was an example given in a class, it seems.
But the
The principle holds, yeah, absolutely.
The guru is not just trying to acquire elaborate facility for his
Yeah.
own personal comfort.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could hear that, but anyway, that's an important thing. Yeah, it's the principle that holds true. That the
Where did you get that 10 glasses of water example?
10,000.
Prabhu, I heard it in class. It's not that important where it comes from, but the principle is very clear and simple, that we're assisting someone in their devotional service to Krishna. It's not just that we're trying to give them a bigger bed or more opulent food, or, we're serving the spiritual master. And Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, give what I gave to you to someone else. No one is more dear to me, Krishna said, than one who shares this, than one who gives it to others, right?
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu.
Welcome.
Min had her hand up, followed by Krishna Kumari and Bhima Prabhu's.
Jai Ho! Min.
Hare Krishna.
There it goes. Haribol.
It was so uplifting to hear you speak about this topic. And I had a realization that, thus far, coming to Krishna, being in Krishna consciousness, I've been I think I've been putting effort into really listen to mature devotees, what they have to say, their writings and their lectures, and ask questions. But it just dawned on me that I don't ever think about serving the people who's around me very often with me. As for instance, my partner is a Vaishnava, and when we met, I remember him saying, a little bit into our relationship, he said, I'm here to serve you. And I remember thinking, what? This person, what is he talking about? And 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 it sort of went out of my mind, but I just recognized that I don't actually actively think that way about my partner, my peers in Vaishnava culture community. So I like to ask, like, can you just speak to that? What is like the best way to serve the Vaishnavas who are around me that I forget that I really should be serving?
Yeah, thank you for that, Min. And I like the example with your partner as a starting point, because when we have that attitude, then our home life, our family life is transformed. It's not just family life. You're living with a devotee. You're serving a devotee. And that's service to Krishna. So we need to have that attitude of if we are fortunate to be in that situation, of our partner as Krishna's devotee, our children are Krishna's devotees. When we serve them, it's service to Krishna. Our homes, like I see your home, surrounded by transcendental literature. Our home is also a spiritual place. We need to have that idea. And that infuses our entire lives as a life of Krishna consciousness. Our work as well, if it's there to support a family of devotees, if it's there supporting a place where devotional service is performed to the deity, we can see that as service. So we really do need to have that attitude. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he sings one of his songs, Sudha, so the first line, Sudha Bhakata Charana Renu, Bhajana Anukula. And then one of the lines in that song, he says, one day I looked and I saw my entire home had been transformed into Vrindavan. So there's the consciousness that we want to cultivate. So yes, family, they're devotees, service to them is service to devotees. Disservice to them, disrespect, disregard, neglect, that doesn't please Krishna. From a piety point of view, this neglect, when we neglect our family, it's impious, so that doesn't please. But then when they're devotees, that's an added layer. But let's focus on the positive. The positive is when we please, when we serve, when we support our family as devotees, we get the benefit of Vaishnava Seva. I'll say one more thing to support that. So in a traditional Vedic world, at least as it developed, males were sent to the Gurukul to serve the Guru. And then when they received the sacred thread, they were taught to recite the Veda, to live the Veda. Women didn't have that opportunity, but the understanding was that when they marry a qualified boy like that, they're living in the ashram. The home is an ashram, and living with such a qualified man who has served the Guru in the ashram and been trained in the Veda, they get the benefit of living with the Guru in an ashram. So, but in our time, it works both ways, yeah? Living with a qualified wife, living who's a Vaishnavi, and so on. So then let's extend that out to our community, our friends who are devotees, and in our immediate environment, when we have an opportunity to see them, to share prasadam with them, to invite them to our home, to accept that invitation to their home. That's all Sadhu Sangha, Vaishnava association, something to be cultivated. Giving gifts, receiving gifts. These are all activities that bring us closer to devotees. They they bind our hearts in loving exchanges with devotees. And then they help us to walk the journey together, right? We walk this journey together, a journey in bhakti, and it's supported when we do it in a community of Vaishnavas.
Some of us are walking, some of us are being dragged, some of us are crawling, but we carry each other, we help one another. Thank you, Sri Prahlad, for making this point.
Yeah,
Krishna Kumari, followed by Bhima Prabhu.
Krishna Kumari, Haribol.
Is the greeting of Radha Muralidhar a little later today? Did I miss that? Or we're
A
okay?
little later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have really a question, but then when I turned my camera on, then I was like, actually, following the Vaishnavi's question, I just was really thinking about Nityananda and this pastime of this devotee that wanted space. And I think about the present day, like some devotees really, they kind of want to keep to themselves. And then I was thinking, how maybe there is some special mercy going on that we can't witness. So I was just wondering, like in that realm, like, everybody has their personal relationship with Krishna.
Absolutely. We're gonna need to hold that thought as the conch shell blows. Thank you all very much for this opportunity. We wish you a joyous Panihati and tune in later today to Radhanath Maharaj's talk as well. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sri Prahlad Prabhu. Dear devotees, please turn on your cameras if you can.
Many times we give you a we are. Yeah.
lotus feet of our spiritual master. Not the only way.
His feet with great awe and reverence. By His grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from His lotus mouth. Attachment to His lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From Him ecstatic prema emanates, and by Him ignorance is destroyed. And the Lord, Master's lotus, all mastery and mercy of us. Give us the shade of His lotus feet. May your face is one words. We
Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. Bhima Prabhu, is your comment still relevant? You still want to make it? Who's the deity on your farm? You?
I have many deities. Whatever my attention is distracted by, that becomes my deity. So, yeah. Anyways, Prahlad Prabhu, is he still on, or did he move on?
No, we'll tell him what you said. I'll call him after class.
He's gone then.
Yeah.
So I can't ask him a question. All right.
Let's see.
I actually had a question. Can you believe it? I didn't think I didn't know. I didn't for the first time I didn't think I knew everything about the subject matter. Anyways, I just wanted to say that we should, in reaching out to understand the relationships of Vaishnavas, that we simply need to understand what we already know, which is what are the basics of a friendship, first and foremost. A connection, of course. We connect as Vaishnavas. Who are you? What's your vibe? Even amongst Vaishnavas, we all have people we like to hang with and people who we like to go to see at the temple, and some people that or some devotees who, it's enough to serve at a distance, so to speak. So these things, this common sense that we should have in relationships is based on do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So sometimes to please the devotees, it's enough just to show up and be part of the crowd, be part of the gang. And sometimes we have a more intimate connection. We become friends because we see the world the same way. We all have an individual relationship with Krishna. That was probably Min. I think that was discussed. It's all personal. It's all so personal, that even the Bhagavatam can't cover. It does in a general way, but what's amazing is that each and every one of us has a super personal relationship. And that is also discovered when one starts, oh geez, hold on, a horse just got loose. There goes a deity right now. But we these are common sense things. It's actually natural to us. It's a part of the education of becoming a loving human being. And that is, we gain the trust by being true, and we gain a friendship by being consistent. We gain an intimate relationship, let's say getting married, by giving of ourselves more than what we give to ourselves. That person becomes a priority to everything that we do, every decision we make. That's a loving, intimate, reciprocal relationship. And as Adi is always fond of saying, and I'm just talking about relationships in general, and what, of course, we discuss in the movement and what we can see in the actions of the Vaishnavas that we would like to emulate. that the truest intimate relationship is not when a man faces a woman, or a husband and wife. They face each other, but that they're tied in Krishna consciousness, to walking side by side forward, looking for Krishna. And it is precisely when they turn to each other for the needs that Krishna says that he will supply us. Every need comes from Krishna. If we turn towards each other, and that other always falls short to a certain extent, then what happens is there's a break, because we have misunderstood what our true source of happiness and intimate relationship comes from. So anyways, we should also trust our common sense. What is it that I want out of a relationship? And and let me give that unto somebody who I would like to have a relationship with. Friendly to a friend, loving to a lover, true and wise, and being an example to someone who wishes to learn from you, being a teacher. And then as a student, which we all are, showing a little appreciation for what we've been taught by, as Adi Purush says, by taking that which we have been taught and have learned and have realized, and sharing it with others. So that's what I took away from this class. Especially, I love the afterglow and when people speak, because those are the truly heartfelt lessons that people are grappling with. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. Personal means I love you for you. I love you for you, Bhima Prabhu. And we love your horses for what they are. And we're wishing you a fulfilling Sunday. Come to the temple if you can. Dance for Krishna, sweat for Krishna, shower for Krishna. Anything you do, do it for Krishna. Become more
Yeah,
like...
I wouldn't be serving Krishna at all, except that I'm serving his horses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you view everything as Krishna's, then you're automatically always in service.
Yeah.
Who's that? Is that Ram chiming
That's
in?
Ram. Yeah, that's
Let me
Ram.
see him. Let me see that pretty face. Look at that. Unbelievable. He looks like he belongs on the jar of baby food, right?
Yeah.
Baby food. Look at the finger in his mouth. What a beautiful child. He's going to make you proud. Well, somebody will end up being a pure devotee in the family. We can see that already.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu, for always encouraging us. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we love you. We need you. Come again tomorrow. Shrimad Bhagavatam transcends everything. Hare Krishna.